guys, welcome to another review. Today is going to be an interesting one because we're going to do half of the face Pat McGrath and half of the face Natasha Denona when it comes to eyeshadows. Same look but different brands, so we'll see how it'll go. I've been awake since 4:30 this morning and it feels like it's been a long day already. Let's dive in. So as you can tell, my eyebrows are done, my base is on, and I already applied eyeliner as a base. You'll see in a second why. I'm just applying a little bit of my Pat McGrath new primer. So let me just go through the products. First, I went with my base, or I would say skin base for my eyes. So it's a double step. I use 3 products. So I used new Prada foundation, and I also used MAC Bronzer concealer in the shade NC20. The reason why I used MAC concealer is because it has a little bit of that grip, and I know for a fact it will stay. And then second step, what we have is this new Pat McGrath primer. This is her Intesifeyes eye primer. Some of you ask how long it stays and how I should perform on top of it. I would say so far I did manage to get the opacity of the eyeshadow, at least when it comes to Pat McGrath's eyeshadows, but I will test also Natasha Denona today on top of this primer. It's a relatively new primer, so I didn't have a chance to review it on a bunch of other eyeshadows so far, but I'll keep you updated as I go. First, I'm gonna go with this side, and I'm gonna be using new Pat McGrath Sunlit Seduction palette. If you do want to see full in review and 2 makeup looks that I have already done with it, I will link them in my description box, and this is how palette looks like. With the blending brush, I'm gonna go with this shade right here. This one is going to be really pink. It does have a kickback, so I have to be careful. See how it already went on top of my eyeliner. Talking about eyeliner, I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention that, well, if you are watching my videos, you will know that this probably is English gel eyeliner in number 77. So I basically applied eyeliner, so it lifts my eye and it gives me direction of where I should go next with my eyeshadow. It's just a technique that I'm doing when it comes to this specific technique. We'll do cut crease in a combination with the cat eye. I will also take a clean blending brush just to remove any excess from from eyeliner. This is how the color looks like. I don't have any creasing. Primer looks really good. Not creasing, and eyeshadows, they really do stick really nicely, and you get the opacity wherever it is in a pan, and this is on my eye at the moment. Ciao! Anyways, now I am going to take my time to try to blend this as much as I can. I'll try to spread this color, since this one is the lightest matte that I'm using, so that when my other shades come in, you still can see this shade peeking through. Also, once I'm left almost with no product on my brush, I will try to come closer to my eyebrow. I'm using circular motions. Also, right here we are going to have a cut crease, so I have to keep in mind to spread this color as much as I can towards my nose, so that we can still see this color underneath. On the tip of my brush, I do have same color. See, it's funny with Pat's eyeshadows, so when I applied another layer of the color, it seems like it's lighter now than when it blended. Also, when it looks a little bit darker on the skin, it's almost like it oxidizes. So I did 2 looks with this palette so far. I did love the first one better just because I didn't use Blitz Creams from Ecstasy, which, like I said, failed me in the sense that it didn't stand test of the time. It started to crease, so unfortunately that was something that I wasn't expecting, and it made me sad. I really wanted for all of the eyeshadows to perform in the long run, but it is what it is. I'm going in really close to my nose, so pay attention whenever you're doing creative looks like this. For example, you always have to think about where your eyeshadow is gonna go so that you can stretch that primer. See, if I didn't put primer right here, that would be an issue because I don't have same base as I do right here. So just pay attention to all the small details and it's gonna make your job actually easier. There's nothing worse than going back and forth to having just to fix something. And this is how my eyeshadow looks at the moment. And now I'm gonna go with the second shade. Now after Nude Rose, I'm gonna go in with a Sienna Mystique, which is another matte shade from this palette. It's a bit deeper. I will also say I'm kind of limited whenever I'm creating looks with just one palette. I'm trying to stick to one palette. I always prefer just having my freedom and to use if I want to 10 eyeshadows from 10 different palettes. I will try to keep this one not too high, not to overtake the previous shade, just to deepen up this one a little bit. So I will try to see how these two combine really well together, these two shades. So I will try just to blend this one a little bit with the previous shade. It's going just to deepen up our shade a little bit because this one is a little bit darker, a little bit muted color, and previous shade is much more intensive compared to this one, but I do want to have like a nice transition. Now I'm gonna take a bullet brush and I'm gonna go in with vermilion, extreme vermilion dusk, and I will try to blend this one on my edges of the eyeliner as much as I can. See, this one I'm placing on the edges, and wow, this one is really pigmented. It doesn't matter if I cover a little bit of my eyeliner, I always can come back. Oh wait, I don't have a black eyeshadow. I should have black eyeshadow for this, which I don't have in this palette. Just gonna take another clean bullet brush, and I will not go all the way in with this color, but it blends nicely with the black eyeliner. See this? I just hope the edges will blend good with this eyeliner. See, the Inklet's eyeliner is really dry, but one thing I love about it, it's a good base. I use it all the time. Definitely one thing I miss here is black eyeshadow, but we'll make it work. You saw in my first video review of this palette when I went with extreme vermilion dusk first, how opacity of the eyeshadow was so deep. But now I'm going on top of the lighter shade, so we may have different results. I don't know, we'll see. It's not the same when you go with a dark shade first on your skin and then if you are applying dark shade on top of the lighter one. It's harder to achieve full opacity. See, this transition right here is beautiful, but I do miss a little bit of the dark shade here, but for now I'm just gonna leave it like that. I just don't want to be too narrow from black to, you know, to my skin. I'm thinking to now, when nothing's almost left on this brush that I've used right here, I'm just thinking to apply it a little bit here. We will cut the crease anyways, but I wanted the edge of the cut crease to be a little bit more emphasized. Right now it's one of the, I would say, hardest moments of this look. Right now I'll take Vaseline and cut the crease. So I'm starting from here and just slowly. I don't want to go too high at the moment. I want to build this crease one step at a time. If I go too high, I can't go back. And the shade is pretty light, so you can't see that much, I would say. But you still can see what you have done. I'm also using Q-tip. And like I said, one step at a time. Don't go too high at first. And the thing is, right here, I do want to go like half a circle so that my line doesn't go up. Once my cut crease is done, I will go in with a blank canvas from Louise. I still not have managed to find better product that will do what this product does, and that is stay on place and make the sharpest. So anyways, just from the start of my crease, and you know what, I think I've cut the crease a little bit too much than I wanted. Hopefully I can correct it with darker eyeshadow. This is good. Right now I'll take the lightest shade from the palette. See, now it's a good thing that we have a light base underneath. That way you can truly see color of this eyeshadow. Now, let's go into this beautiful color. I love this one. Initially, I thought it's gonna be too yellow, but the way it shifts, it's beautiful. So you see now I'm doing transition from the lightest to our darkest shade. And I do wanna make each color pop. I'm just going to apply Extreme Vermilion Dusk to connect that shade with the liner so that we have seamless transition and not just the sharp edge of the eyeliner. I do want to apply some NYX Glitter Primer just to make this eyeshadow stick better, but I'm just applying tiny bit, not too much. I'm afraid it's gonna start creasing or something. So I am using Sienna Mystique. Now what I find really, really beautiful, really interesting is when you look at your cut crease from beginning to the end. So this area in the middle, where your line starts to be the darkest, it just gives beautiful transition. So I definitely add more of a darker shade, which will be Extreme Vermilion Dusk. You definitely need some tiny brush or some small eyeliner brush. See what I'm talking about? Just in the middle. Also, what I like to do is to make crease sharper in here. For now, this eyelid is done and I will be switching to the other one, to other palette. It doesn't feel overly dry, that's good. Sometimes your bases can, if they stay too long, they can dry your lid. So happy to see that's not the case. Also, let's see how Natasha's eyeshadows will perform on this base. And when thinking about color story, I will go in first with the shade Flax. And I'm using her latest palette. Well, technically this is her midi-size palette that came last. Today she announced that, as I'm recording this, she is releasing her biggest launch this year so far, and I am really excited, and I already wrote on Instagram whatever it is I'm buying. So I cannot wait for the big reveal to see what has she prepared. I may be wrong, but I'm thinking something in terms, either it's going to be like last year's My Dream Palette whole collection, you know, like My Dream Palette Volume 2, or it's going to be something related to holiday releases, because at the moment we are having sneak peeks of the holiday releases, which, do you guys think that's too early? It's still summer, I don't know. But I get everybody's getting prepared. One shade that I miss in this palette is deep, like this deep, but green undertone. You know, we do have greens in here, but not the undertone that I would prefer for this type of color story. And I've just realized that I should have went with the lighter shade first. Talking too much excited about new release. I'll just try to take the excess off. I'll just remove at least this area right here so I can start over, cause my bad. It's gonna be fine as long as I didn't spread that color all over my lid. I would have to, I guess, go again, which wouldn't be a problem if I don't already have an eyeliner, and that took forever to, you know, create, to be precise. At least I have a fresh base now. I am going in with a citrine color. Wow, so much fallout. We're gonna have a lot of fallout. You know what? This is beautiful, beautiful summer palette. Too bad I was so busy. I couldn't use this one. But I do love it. It works beautifully when you're deeper skin tone. This one has a lot of kickback. So same as the last color, I'm trying to spread this as much as I can. And I'm just adding color on the tip of my brush, doing circular motions, and everything is the same as when it comes to technique as the last eye look, because I'm going for the same technique, just different color story. This shade, I have to do something with this shade. This shade goes perfectly with the brown eyes that I have. And now I want to spread this color out. Again, I'm really interested to see what she prepared. What I saw on her story and on her Instagram post was she gave us a clue with some products that were behind her, but at the same time showing at the back of the palette. It reminded me of a glam palette when it comes to palette color, palette packaging. My god, this shade was so citrine, so nice. Next shade is going to be Tipu shade. Just slowly starting to deepen up this shade, not too much. These two combine really well. And of course, later we can add dimension, same as on the previous one as well. I'll definitely have to do something with this palette. I hope I'll find time to do another creative look with this one. Which one's next, Calathea or Willow? Neither. Flax. Oh, I'm afraid Flax would be the one. Which I wanted to go like really green. What if I mix Flax and Willow? I think that was what I done in my initial review, mixing Flax and Willow. But I can't go with this at the moment. I will take smaller pointy brush and then I will spread this color. But for now, what I need to do is to connect this with my eyeliner like that. Okay. It's looking good, but I prefer softer brush. This is a bit bigger blending brush than I would want it to, but I've taken product just on the edge. That's nice. Also, I do want to deepen up a little bit, just this area right here. Let me try to go just with the Flax, just in the middle. I think it's, because it's the darkest color. And now same thing, what I've done on this side, I will cut my crease and I will be right back. I will start with what I think is the lightest shade, which is Komorebi. Oh, but these do have different undertones. Also add a little bit of NYX glitter primer. Initially, first time when I created this look, I did it with a chunky glitters and it looked beautifully. That was a challenging one, I have to tell you. But it turned out beautifully. So again, we are gonna start with the lightest shade. I am switching to this beautiful Plantasia color. Except for Calathea, I don't have deepen up shading here. I'm using these two shades, Ray and Makia. I am adding a little bit of Calathea. Yeah, I definitely miss shading here to make the transition that I wanted. Let me go back with the Flax and Willow and I will make a transition that way. I'm taking Flax and Willow on my brush and just work around the edges. For the final touch, I will add Komorebi. That is so pigmented. Even more than I would like to. On the Sunlit side, I don't know, somehow these two, they give me beautiful transition. I will put some false eyelashes and I will be right back. Now once again I am going to apply Pat McGrath primer on my lower lash line. And now I'm taking Glass Gel Eyeliner in 77. Same on this side as well. And I'm trying to connect everything that we already have with the lower lash line so that I don't have any gap. So now I'm gonna go in with a Flax and Willow shade from Yucca Palette. Actually, since this is so green, I will go more with the Willow shade. I'm also missing this Tipu shade. I think it's really gorgeous. Right now, I'm just trying to connect everything. I don't want to leave any gaps. I don't think I want to use any shimmers. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like this. And when it comes to this side, I will use Extreme Vermilion Dusk. So the same thing that I've done in my last video. I really loved how just this one shade combined with the black eyeliner. I think it was gorgeous. Like, it gives you beautiful depth. And it looked beautifully, especially because I had really light eye contact lenses. So it pops even more than it's going today because I'm not wearing any lenses. And that's about it. I will finish off the rest of my face and I will be right back with you with my final thoughts. After I finish my completed look, I have final thoughts and I will dare to say that these blended equally good. So Natasha Denona Yucca Palette and Pat McGrath Sunlit Seduction Mothership 11. I'll even say that we have equal quality, where Natasha's eyeshadow palette is much more versatile in the sense that we do have more different eyeshadows than in standard Mothership palette. And these are, as you know, really expensive. So Occasionally she does have even 30% off, which is great. So that will be a great chance to grab a palette. It performed equally good on both sides of my eyes. There are some things that I would initially change when it comes to these eyeshadow palettes, but I challenged myself, do the same look, do a specific look with just one palette. Usually I do combine a lot of them. It's not like my perfect choice for creating transitions and something that I had in mind, but to make it much more easier, I try to stick to just one palette. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know what would you like to see in my next video when it comes to technique or some other ideas, reviews, wherever you would like to see next. I will be having some new exciting reviews on my channel, so make sure to stay tuned. If you haven't, ring the bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And besides that, here's the video review that you can watch next, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye!